Okay. I guess we're gonna go ahead and... damn it. I hate it when it does this. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Testing. Okay, so that should be all right. And there. There we go. Interesting. I don't know what's doing that. Guess we'll just go with that. Okay, we're picking up another mic from someplace, but where? 3. Alright, so it's on 2, whatever that is. Yes, positive. Testing 1, 2. Alright, so what is this? Alright, we are going to delete this. Remove, yes, I'm positive. Where is the mic coming from? Testing 1, 2, testing. That is it, but okay. The question is, why can I not hear anything that's going on? Okay, still working on it. Where's it coming from? Oh, the phone, of course. Has to be it. Okay, I'm testing a few things, guys. Let me know. Turn off the music here real quick. Okay, can you guys hear me at all? Can you testing, guys, give me a shout out. Type literally, yes, I can hear you if you can. Okay. Alright, so that it must be feeding in off of the mic. Let's try. Okay, so for whatever reason, one cuts out the other. Okay, that must be what it is. Okay, can everybody hear me clearly? Does it sound good? Okay, good. Alright, we'll go ahead and get started here in just a second, guys. Okay, and we should be set. Everybody give me a thumbs up, or just say hi, wave, put a comma, something in there, please. If you can hear us and see us just fine. Hi, Naomi, and Starry Girl, and Viola. I don't see anybody else. Turn down the music a bit. I'm sorry, I totally forgot about that. Yoop. Better? Just trying out the music is a new thing, so we're still kind of getting the ins and outs of the program a little bit. Hopefully that's not as jarring for you guys now. Music should be down or off. Yes, yes? Okay, cool. Yeah, we went ahead and just turned it off because it's still kind of wiggy. Let's see, where is my other window? Okay. Cool beans. So I think we're all set. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Happy Halloween or Samhain or whatever you may choose, or if you don't choose. It's October 31st, and it's a blue full moon, which only occurs every 70 years, I think. And, of course, we've got the time change going on, and the election on Tuesday here in the U.S., so perfect storm of weird stuff. Hopefully things are doing a little bit better in your guys' neck of the woods. I'm just going to remove these here. Maybe not. Yeah. If the glare gets to be too bad, just tell me. I don't want to constantly be leaning in. Hopefully we'll catch some folks from the UK. Since we decided to start this when it's a better time for them, according to our calculations and Google. Should be about 7 p.m. UK time, hopefully. So excuse us, we got a little bit of gunk in our throat today. We woke up and we were feeling kind of meh, but we decided to go ahead and push through it anyway. Bugbean, hello, welcome to the stream. We just started just kind of settling in for everybody. If you guys want to chat about something or have any questions, give us a holler. 9 p.m. Okay, where are you at, Naomi? Because we could have sworn that we went for UK time. Oh, maybe you guys have several different time zones. I'm sorry, I'm an ignorant American on these things unless it applies directly to me. Anyway, at least it's not 2 or 3 in the morning. 8 p.m. there. Israel. Okay. That explains things. I'm going to have to look into the time zones and see what coincides. Okay, so that's good for you. We'll see. We'll have folks just kind of check in and give me a thumbs up or whatnot, whether or not the time works for you. We're trying to find a middle ground for everybody. Hello, Pastora Kate. Welcome. Good to see the familiar faces showing up. Hope everybody's having a good day. Got your Halloween candy all set out for the trick-or-treaters tonight, and or rolls of toilet paper and water hoses, eggs, things like that. Not that we ever did anything like that. Uh-oh. The cam is frozen. Yes, it is. I can see that. Give me just a moment. We will see what's going on here. It's probably because I jiggled the cord and it doesn't like that. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Are you going to work for me? No devices detected. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you're going to get difficult with me here. Okay, there's that. And start. And hopefully that should have put us back. Give me a sec, guys. Hopefully it should be, there we go. Okay, I'm moving again. Problem solved. Yay. The charge cable that goes into my phone, our phone it's just a pain in the butt. And if you wiggle it just a little bit wrong, it'll kill the USB connection for the camera. 9 p.m. is good because your kids are now in bed. How many do you have? And how does that work for you? Because we could never really get ours to stick to the actual time. And I'm going to go ahead and turn on the fan real quick because it's getting a little warm. Hopefully that won't impact the lighting or whatnot. If you hear anything in this background, it's because I just turned on the fan, so. Wow. Big changes for us. We topped over 1K. Amazing. Thank you guys so much. We totally didn't expect that at all. It's been amazing, really, just the amount of support that you guys have given us and the welcome that the community has given us. We didn't expect it, honestly. We just kind of thought we'd be throwing our videos out there and, just saying our thing and nobody would ever notice. And much to our surprise, you guys have really resonated with it. So thank you. It got us our community tab, which was the main thing that we really wanted, because that way we can reach out more directly to you guys rather than to having to go through the rigmarole of social media, which frankly we suck at. Twitter just seems to be this toxic wasteland. We're on Instagram, a fair amount. That's the easiest way to catch us. Hang on, I'm answering a question now because all right, there we go. You got Twitter down to a T. Thank you. Yeah, they're used to it. It's school work day tomorrow, so yeah. Sounds like they're still in the age where you can actually kind of control them, because after a while that just becomes a losing battle. So yeah. Great to see you posting content, because there's a lot of unhealthy stuff in the community right now. Hello, 969 Kokoro. Welcome. You're a new user, seeing you around new viewer. Sorry, we're old computer tech, so good to see you around the channel. Thanks for stopping by. We're glad. As we recall, you were the Spanish-speaking individual. We're investigating getting Spanish subtitles for our content, so that is something that we're working on, investigating. There's some hurdles to jump through, but welcome 69 Kokoro. Pastora Kate, sorry, great to see you posting content. A lot of unhealthy stuff in the community right now. We guess, to be dead honest, we really, it's not that we're not in touch with the community, it's just, it seems like most of the stuff happens on Twitter, and it just, there's so much of it, and so much toxicity that we just, it's not our thing, I guess. We kind of keep our finger on the pulse of things. We'll check Twitter once a day. Like I said, Instagram is our main thing. Facebook's basically dead. We still post the announcements there, but we're not really active. Just speaking of YouTube, don't do Twitter. Yeah, okay. Oh, really? Bad stuff in the community right now on YouTube? We haven't noticed. We're not really, let's dish the tea or anything. The only thing that we know about is that Dissociative is supposedly coming back. They're running some kind of a Patreon contest, a drawing contest right now. That's all that we know about, really, so far. So far as we know, everybody's just kind of doing their thing, I guess. We've always tried to stay just the hell out of the drama, really. It's not interesting to us. I mean, we just don't have that, oh my god, it's a train wreck, let's go watch it. It's just kind of not us. That said, there are times when it's necessary for a person to say things, but yeah, Viola says she removed herself from Twitter as well. It's just so bad over there. Yeah, it's really bad, just really bad. And actually, I think the only person that we actually follow, the only other system other than a few of you who have, is it subbed over there, I guess, followed, whatever, we follow Multiplicity and me, and that's about it. There just really doesn't seem to be a lot out there of interest to us. So we just kind of keep our nose in our own fenced enclosure, I guess. Not into tea, not into drama stuff, just trying to go gently through life stuff. Sometimes it's just in your face, yeah. Love Eminem, yes, Multiplicity and me, Jess is great. I guess didn't expect that at all, as far as I know. Okay, 69 Kokoro says, no, there's a way for fans to help with subtitles. I've seen a few links and all that. Maybe I can help you with all of that. Sure, absolutely. We will go ahead and, I think it's on by default where viewers can submit subtitles and whatnot. If not, we might have to go individually video by video to change them back. But we'll make a note to check our default settings now and be sure that that's turned on so that any of you foreign language or Spanish language or whatever language you might happen to be listening in or would like to see the show in, please feel free to contribute subtitles. That'd be great. But yeah, don't worry, 69 Kokoro. We actually do pay attention to our viewers. We always try to respond to you guys right away, at least with, a heart and a like. If we just don't have time to get back to you if we don't reply, that's why. But we keep track of our folks. We care about you guys, and everybody says we're building a community. I tend to think that we're more just kind of getting in touch with the people who are already there. But yeah, hey, shout out. Kieran Ramirez says, Hi, Kieran. Good to see you. Glad you stopped by. Okay, looks like my two moderators are the T needs to hit the tongue. My two moderators are coming in here soon. But everybody seems to be doing well this time. Sorry that I'm kind of against the shiny background. The walls got stuff on it right now, and to be frank, I didn't want to be... It was just too awkward the other way, so kind of feeling today and a little bit lazy, so I just figured I'd hook it up this way. This way I can see directly, and it won't be so jumpy about. Feels great that you care so much about us. Isn't that what people are supposed to do? It's you guys are all system. Well, I mean, we've got singlets and systems here, but trauma survivors, PTSD, BPD, seems like we're kind of drawing in everybody. But yeah, we care about you. You're human beings. You're people out there with your own pains and your own joys and your own sorrows and your own wonderful things to share, and that's why we're always advocating for you guys to get out there, particularly DID systems. Get out there, tell your story. It doesn't matter how big or how small you are, just getting your voice out there is throwing that pebble into the pond and making a ripple, and the more people we've got throwing rocks into the pond, the more ripples we're going to make. So keep at that, Sometimes empathy is rare, so seeing it is greatly appreciated. Thank you. That's just how we are. How much of that is because of what we became because of all of the trauma, or how much of that is just us? Don't know. That's kind of one of the things that we're kind of currently working on is, okay, how much of us that forms us is actually all of the trauma and the abuse, and how much of it is actually us. And it's right at about a 50-50 right now, so we'll see how that shakes out. Excuse us. But yeah, we've just kind of always had empathy for others. And ironically, actually, we were talking with our friends and saying that trauma victims and abuse survivors, on the whole, tend to be far more empathetic, and you see a high proportion of them getting into the mental health field or into any care industry field. So it makes you wonder whether it predisposes us to sympathy and empathy because we can put ourselves in another person's shoes. So, yeah, kind of good point. So, thank you for that. It's just the way we are, but cheers. Let's see. So, while we're kind of, yeah, it makes sense. We've seen terrible things and don't want others to be hurt too. Yeah, it just kind of seems to go without saying, but we've noticed, and particularly growing up and just being who we are, that other folks just don't seem to be clued into that. I don't know. We could get off on a long, rambling discussion on that, and a lot of it is just anecdotal. And that's another reason why we support channels starting up and telling your viewpoint, is because DID is individual to each system, because our brains react in a different way to both good and bad. So everybody's going to have commonalities, things that we share in common, but everyone is also going to have these little weird things that only they experience, or think that only they experience. And by getting those out there, you might find somebody else who goes, oh my god, yes, that's us. Looks like we got some people coming in here. Ryan Fire, welcome. Oh my god, the stream is still going. Yeah, actually, we just started at noon, so we're only about 20 minutes in. Sorry, got to go for now. People are not accepting of this. Okay. Sorry, Naomi. I'm not sure what's going on, whether that's an inter-system or outside, but the live stream will be there. Come on back when you can and watch it, if not, but just be safe, be well, okay? Take care. Everybody's just kind of saying hi. Okay, there are a couple of things that we want to do real quick. Some systems that we want to give a shout out to. There is a new channel, not dealing specifically, man, we just can't talk today. There is a new channel not dealing specifically with DID, but with mental health conditions and just giving normal everyday tips to help get us through this. It's started by one of our viewers. It's called Adept Answers. ADEPT Answers. Adept Answers. And we're just going to go ahead and put that down in there. And go ahead and stop on over and give them a look, if you would. And encourage them. And there's another one that we want to bring to your attention. It's called 5 Pieces of 9, which is another channel by another system. One of our viewers who decided to start theirs up. They have a very original, both of these systems have a very original viewpoint and some really cool information to offer. 5 Pieces of 9 in particular, theirs are more of a... not sure how quite to describe their videos, more of like a story montage type of a thing, which actually works really well. And they're an older body system as well, and have been out there for quite a while, and have just kind of been coming out and getting their viewpoint out there. So kudos to you guys, 5 Pieces of 9. Kudos for Adept Answers. The rest of you guys, go check out their channels on YouTube. Not, just trying to spread the word. And if you guys know of any other smaller systems or smaller channels like that, go ahead and feel free to type them in the comment section, and we will give them a shout out. This is something that we want to do every month on the live stream, is to showcase those smaller systems who might need some exposure out there. And not exposure to grow a channel or anything, but just exposure to get their viewpoints out. We just want to be very clear on our motivations for that. It's not about the subs, it's not about the views, it's about the message and getting it out there. And the more of us that can do that, the better. So, really love the name. We'll check them out for sure. Appreciate you plugging other channels so much. That's amazing. Quarks Systems, okay? I'm going to make a note of these because backtracking the chat log can be a little time-consuming. So, Quartz System. Quarks, as in Deep Space Nine. Quark, Ferengi, gotcha. Quarks Systems, and or the subatomic particle. Yes, thank you, Data. We know all about subatomic particles. Okay, so thank you, Sailor System, for giving us that one, and thank you to any of you all. Feel free, drop them there, and we're going to try to showcase those every month. But feel free to drop them in the comment section, because people do go back and read those. Okay, so hello to anybody that we didn't already say hello to. Let's see where we're going here. Okay. Looks like we are at 11 concurrent viewers. That's not bad. It'll probably pick up a little bit here. Some of the folks over in UK might not be aware or hadn't gotten the notification that we're going to do it, but that's why we always leave our live streams up for you guys to come back to later when you've got time or whatnot, like Naomi, who needed to check out for whatever reason. So yeah, if you guys have any smaller systems or folks that you can recommend who need some exposure to get their voice out there, drop it in the comment sections. Andy D, welcome. One of their favorite systems recently finally fused and deleted all their old DID content. Low-key upset, but if that's healthy for them, that's cool. Yeah, and I think we know the system that you're talking about there, but we're not sure because there's a couple who have just done that recently, and like we said, we kind of keep our nose in our own neck of the woods. But yeah, and that's okay. Every system is going to have their own end plan, I guess, game plan, whatever you want to call it. Some will go for the final fusion, some will... Yeah, the others, that's the one, yes. Yes, we followed the others too. We were kind of excited to see another older body system, male body system out there, but then they came in, grew, and went away, and now they fused. I guess they're still putting their stuff out there, though, so, but we wish them the best. Hey, everybody's got to chart their own course. Blah, blah, blah. For us, we have decided that we're not going to fuse. We're not even sure that we can, because our system is so trauma-locked and so traumagenic. Our alters are pretty much stuck where they're at, so final fusion's not going to be an option for us. We've never experienced a fusion between our alts, again, because we're so trauma-locked. So we're going to be working on the functional multiplicity thing, so... Okay, the chat log's starting to move, so we're going to go over there and check that out. Okay, NDD, yeah, the others were the folks we were talking about. Alisane, welcome. And they're the other half of Roso's rant. And we are going to assign our moderators. Just in case. Everybody behaves really well on the streams. In fact, some of our friends have said, everybody's so nice on your streams. And we're like, isn't that the way it always is? And they're like, no. And we're like, okay, I guess folks like us, or maybe we make you all behave or something. I don't know. Maybe it's the dad vibe. Yes, Alisane, I already did make you a mod. You're a little slow on that. Beat you to it. Let's see here. Everybody's saying hello. Hello, The Comfortable Life. Welcome. Don't recall seeing you around before. If not, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the live stream. Borealis System, welcome as well. Diaries. All right. I will jot that one down. Diaries. Big grandfather vibes, probably. We're not that old yet, man. Diaries. Okay, we will check that one out. Thank you, Borealis System. Am existent as well, but sewing a thing or two. Well, you're already on as a mod. Oh, okay. I guess once we add you as a mod, it stays as a mod because we didn't have to do that. Okay, well, cool. So Alice saying if you were to check in on your other account, that was the one we added you last time, so I think that should be automatic, so you guys should be good to go. Alright, so as we wait for more folks to come in, let's catch you guys up on the channel. I'm just going to pull these off for a second, because we need new glasses in the worst way. I mean, it's like literally we can see kind of better without these things than we can with them, because they're so scratched. But just COVID, you know, and then ugh, I'm sure everybody else has those things. Been an eventful month. A lot of stuff kind of going on behind the scenes. Just life changes, stuff for everybody. You know, don't we all? As far as the channel goes, obviously we hit 1K. Yay! Thank you guys again for that. Opened up our community tab so we can actually talk to you guys without having to go through social media or creating a big long video, which can be a bit of a pain, particularly if we're on a really head soup switchy kind of a day. We are closing in on the end of The Forgotten Door. Hope that you guys have been enjoying it, Percival, and the rest of us put a lot of work into those episodes, actually, in order to add the sound effects and, you know, the different backgrounds and just the little things that help to bring it to life for you guys. So we do hope that you're enjoying those. It's really kind of taxed Percival to his limits and beyond with all of the different voices, because he does them all, except for I pinch hit for the voice of Thomas Bean, sort of. And Rosemarie was the only one who could do Judge Josie correctly, so we had to have her co-front, and it gets a little weird, but other than that, that's all Percival. We don't do any real voice manipulation or anything. We had to on Judge Josie just simply because our body can't hit that upper register. But, you know, Mary, Sally Brooks, all the rest of them, that's just Percival doing his thing. So we have 3 chapters left, Chapter 10 and then Chapter 11 and 12, which are very, very short, and we'll be rolling them all together. Whether or not we're going to be rolling Chapter 10, 11, and 12 in, or separating, it's going to depend upon the time, how long it is, and how long it takes to come out, or rather the episode length. So those are almost done, so yay. We actually have the vocal track. Yesterday, he sat down and in one fell swoop just tore through the end of the book. So Chapter 10, Chapter 11, and Chapter 12 are all recorded now. We just have to do the audio work, the cleanup and whatnot, the audio effects, and he needs to record the front and the back video piece, which we call the bumpers, where he talks with you guys and summates the story and whatnot. So that's where we're at with that. We should be finishing up Forgotten Door within the next, well, like I said, we've got it all recorded, so we'll have it out definitely within the next week to 2 weeks, depending upon how things go. So there's that. Looks like we had some chapped out. Okay, let's see. My Multiple Life. There's another good one. Hi, Will's mom, you made it. We were just talking about the story. Give me just a sec here to write that down. My Multiple Life. Okay, so just jotting down the name of a lesser-known system. We've asked folks, if you're new and just popped into the stream and you know of any other smaller channels that might need some exposure or who have a unique viewpoint to offer, feel free to drop them in the comments section down here. And to try to help spread that out, we want to do that on our live streams. Again, we have our live streams at the end of every month, the last Saturday in the month, and we'll probably be doing them at this time now, since this seems to work to kind of catch everybody a little bit more. So let's see. Oh, shoot, Die Diaries must have been the name of another system channel. It didn't look like I remember, so I looked around and it's not a DID channel. Sorry. That's okay. We'll check them out, and we will just, not that any of you would ever do this or anything, but as we get bigger, and we have from square one been mindful of trolls. So we vet everything that we put up on our channel. So don't bother posting something that's controversial or trolly. Not that you guys would do that. Okay, you know. We don't have those type of people here, but we verify everything, okay? So, as best as we can. Okay, we're humans. So, we do try to vet it, though. Let's see. Hello, everybody's saying hello. Forgotten Door, we're finishing that up. Percival is eager to get back to work on the safe space stories, which is the term that we've basically chosen for them. Because we just couldn't find a catchy name, but everybody started calling it the safe space and safe space stories. You know, little stories with Percival sounds too long, too wordy, and a little bit too self-promoting. I don't know. You know, Percival's a ham. He loves the spotlight, but the rest of us are kind of like, whatever, dude. So those will be now called safe space stories. And we are, let's see, I think he's going through the books later today or tomorrow to see which, which ones we want to put up for a vote. So once we have those next, I think he's going to pick out 3 and give you guys a choice. Now that we've got the poll option, yay, we can just poll you guys directly, so keep an eye out for that. Let your littles know that we'll have a new episode, at least one out next month. So we'll be getting back to that. Made a few changes to the safe space. We have a wall now, which you guys might have seen on our Instagram post, where we have Bo Peep, Shepherd Bo Peep, and a lot of sheep, and a brave and honorable knight protecting them come into the safe space to visit and listen with our stories on those sheep, rather like... Give me just a second, because I do have a picture of one for you. Where'd you go, Mr. Sheep? There we go. Up in the upper left-hand corner of your screen, you should see a lovely sheep. That's actually 1 out of 3 different types, but if anyone there has a little whom we have not already gotten the name of and who is brave enough to share their name with us, feel free to write it in the comments over here, just the name of your little or littles. If you're not comfortable with that, you can always give us a direct message on Instagram or shoot us an email at infinitysystem@q, just the letter Q, .com, infinitysystem@q.com. And if your littles will be brave enough to give us their name, we'll go ahead and we will put it on the sheep, and we will put it up with the rest of the flock under Bo Peep's and the Knight's protection. Right now, we've got about, rounded in on 20 sheep so far, so the flock, metaphorically, is growing. We wanted to do it to give the just another way to connect with the littles and make them feel directly spoken to. So if you guys want to participate in that, hit it up over there. So let's see here. We'll check up on the chats. Check up on the cats. They're out in the room. Sorry, no cat bombs today. Littles are looking forward to Safe Space Stories. Hi, Little Threat 88. Welcome. Glad you made it too. Bugmean. Happy to hear that there are new Safe Space Stories coming up. They are the best. Yeah, Littles have really taken to those, and we're very glad because there was nobody else making content for Littles. We looked, and there wasn't any. So, well, Littles need content too, and they need a safe space to be able to go to dependably, and that can be very hard to arrange in the outside environment, particularly now with COVID and just everything going on. We wanted to give the littles a place where they could always go, because littles, they don't always come out when it's convenient, and when they do come out, I don't know about you guys, but we're kind of like going, what do we do? What do we give them to do? I mean, you just don't want to kind of give them unfettered access to fingerprints or finger paints and your wall. But anyway, we wanted to give them something to rely on And this way, the episodes will always be there. Percival will always be there. Winnie the Pooh and the Honey Tree will always be there. The pokey little puppy, whenever your littles need it, wherever you are, whatever kind of a day you're having. So we are so glad that that is resonating with you guys and that you are getting that out of it. Because if there's one good thing that we've done on this show, that's it. So, yay. Okay, so let's see here. Catching up on the questions. Reminding you that Madeline was on the docket for stories to read. Yes, thank you. Alisane, go into Instagram, and just jot us a note on that so we don't have to backlog the chat, and we're going to go ahead and write that down here while we're also thinking of it. I don't know about you guys, but lately in particular, we have to have lists and notes and email backups of everything. Like any of our doctor's appointments or anybody that we speak to, we have literally told them, okay, in addition to this conversation, please email us everything that you just said and that we just agreed to, because switchy, and it's gotten really, really bad lately. Yeah, that's why. Oops, no. Behave yourself here. Okay, so let's see now. That was stories. Madeline. Okay, and if you guys have any other suggestions, feel free to pop them into the chat down there. Okay, let's see who we have here. Okay, so we've got Mia. Okay, there's one. Excellent, keep them going. Names. Mia. Alright, we've got Mia down there. Okay, we have an Ash. Keep them coming, guys. We'll put them up there until we run out of wall space. Okay, Ash. Really sweet. Okay, Alice and Brownie. Okay. 15th grandchild born this morning. Wow, the comfortable life. Congratulations. 15. Wow. You're going to have some busy holidays. Wow, 15. That's boggling. Props to you. Man, okay. Hannah Salney. So happy. Hello. Welcome. Happy I caught you live, watched all your videos, and just wanted to say thank you. Vulnerability is so hard, but thank you for doing it. Thanks. You're welcome. We're just being us. We grew up with the whole men don't cry, don't show emotion, don't be weak, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, here's the thing. That was never really us. I mean, for obvious reasons now, but we have always kind of worn our emotions on our sleeves. But above and beyond that, we noticed that a lot of the content just wasn't real. I mean, no, we don't want to drown in trauma or always, emphasize the negative things, but there were a lot of things that just weren't being addressed with. I mean, yeah, it's all great and cool to learn about alters and how ANPs and EPs are formed and, put on makeup with your female alters or things like that, but that doesn't help you when it's 2 a.m. and your brain is on overdrive and you're freaking out, or you went through therapy and you feel like crap for the rest of the day, or all of the weird swings in sexuality with the trauma and the way that it impacts us. So we just kind of went, yeah, okay, you know what, we're just going to start putting this stuff out there and just be as straight up and front and truthful and just, yep, here it is. And folks have been responding, much to our surprise. Who knew? Apparently people actually still like honesty and truth and being straight up. Sorry, mini rant there. Okay, so okay, we have had so much brain fog. Ryan Fryer says we've had so much brain fog lately and so much extra memory loss. Yeah. For whatever reason, it's just gotten really bad lately. Us too. So, Starry Girl wants to know, is everything okay? You can just say yes or no if that's all you're comfortable with. Both. But that's life, okay? Everybody's going to have their ups, everybody's going to have their downs. There are going to be challenges with just being a system and getting through life. Don't worry. If we need help, we will reach out. We have our support system, and we got our friends, and they've already gotten us through some tough spots. We've had a couple really, really low points this month. Not going into details or need to, nor will we, but yeah, we struggle. We've felt suicidal a couple times this month. We've had what we call our black dot days, which is a coping technique that we actually ran across over the internet to help those alters who might self-harm. You take, instead of cutting yourself or self-harming, you take a black Sharpie and you make a mark wherever on your body, as it's both a psychological pressure release to close that stress cycle, so that you're taking an action, but it's not self-harming. It's a psychological trick, and it prevents you from actually doing real harm. But we took it a step farther and went, okay, each one of these black marks represents a reason for us to stay around, a reason for us to keep kicking, to fight back against the depression, to fight back against just the trauma, the everyday living with DID, because it's exhausting. It's tough, and having to work in a neurotypical world or function in a neurotypical world when you're a system it sucks a lot of times. It can be very, very difficult. So we have our ups and we have our downs. But we do have our support system, and we've supported each other. So, don't worry. We're tough. Okay, we have beaten everything that came before, and we're still here. At this point in our lives, there's very little left that life could throw us that we haven't already experienced in one form or another. So, yeah, we'll be all right. Don't worry. We'll have our ups and we'll have our downs, but we're still here. Okay, so let's check up here. Let's see. So, yeah, sorry, girl, long answer to a short question. So, yes and no. We're all right. Let's see. You also have 4 great-grandchildren. Goodness gracious, comfortable life. Whew. Thanksgiving and Christmas at your house must be a zoo. But in a good way, we hope. We never had that. Holidays have always kind of been the proposition, which, of course, is directly tied in with the trauma and whatnot, and that's actually an idea for an upcoming episode, is holidays and why they're difficult for systems, and what we can do to help ourselves be more merry and bright, for example. So that's another one on the slate. Little Threat 88, grew up with that, crying is bad too. Yeah, and it's total bullshit. I mean, forgive if there's littles watching, but it's bullshit. Okay, crying is perfectly natural. It's a physical response to emotional stress. Why in the hell would you deny yourself something that is helpful because you appear weak? Hello, you're a human being. You may be a guy, but you don't have to. It's okay to show weakness. In fact, you're stronger if you're willing to do that. Or at least we've always felt so. So yeah, there's a lot of, I think it's called toxic masculinity, that fortunately, as the generations pass, and I'm going to make this something that sounds terribly ageist, but it's not. Gen X, we were kind of really the first generation to kind of clue into that whole toxic masculinity. Okay, maybe we don't actually have to be like our dads or our grandfathers, and maybe we can express emotion because, basically, F it. It's my life, I'm going to do what the hell I want. And But it set up a good pattern of awareness that's starting to build, both for men and for women. I mean, oh my God, we've been rewatching the original Fantasy Island as a comfort self-care thing, and we're just absolutely horrified at the rampant racism and misogyny and sexism. Oh my God, it's just terrible. But we have to give the show props, because for the time, they're actually showcasing this behavior to draw attention to it. So there's this whole layer of subversiveness that we missed the first time around watching the show. So very interesting. But yeah, the 70s. Ugh. Anyway, so yeah, toxic masculinity. Guys, cry. It's okay. Believe it or not, if your partner's probably going to love you more if you're willing to be weak. So there's that. Another mini rant. So let's see. This is why we love your channel. Yes, thank you. Fair enough. Bugbean, I really have to thank you for saying let the littles draw last time. And last month, a lot of alters started drawing, and it really helped us to get some of the pain out. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, art therapy, not just for adults. We've got plenty of our own art therapy that we do. Christopher's really been the one who's drawn the most. Christopher D, who is much older, he likes to more like color in and build things. But yeah, we have a new arrival to the system. Yeah, we totally forgot to go into that. We have a new arrival to the system. She is a 6/7-year-old girl who is named Susie. She is a trauma holder as well, and fits in between Christopher and Christopher D in that 5 to 7 year time range. So kind of came out of the blue. So yeah, there's a giggly 6-year-old girl running around in the headspace now that came out in one of our trauma therapy sessions. So new member to the crew, I guess. But yeah, let them draw. Everybody, art therapy, it works really great. Our therapist highly recommends it because it taps directly into some of the subconscious things and may help you to express it. So coloring books, don't be afraid to revisit these things that as a little brought you comfort as a child. Grab some Play-Doh. Seriously, smells. The smell of Play-Doh can be a very powerful memory trigger. And now keep a mind out, memory triggers can be positive and negative, so kind of sound yourself out and tread carefully. But by rediscovering your littles and what it was like to be that way, to have that perspective of a child again, and it's really strange. It's really weird. You forget that you saw life that way, but just try to reconnect with those things. It's like if you played with Legos, grab some Legos or those wooden building blocks or something, and don't be afraid to treat yourself. Christmas isn't just for adults, guys. Get your littles some presents, or have your loved ones get your littles some presents if you're not a hidden system. What do they call that? An overt system? Yeah. So anyway, we're drawing. So yeah, art therapy. Little Threat 88, glad you're being you. I really appreciate your channel and your truthfulness. Well, you're in the right place, because that's kind of our thing. We just don't have time to blow smoke up anybody's butt or be anything other than what we are. So if we offend some folks out there with our bluntness, sorry. If you want to see the fun frou-frou side of it, there's lots of other channels. This is what we do. We've got Mimi with the makeup, Rosemary with cooking, Percival with reading, and Data and I providing the hard, nitty-gritty stuff. So yeah. Okay, so let's see. Okay, hang on. That happy Halloween, everyone. Yes, happy Halloween, happy Samhain, whatever you might choose to call it. Hannah Saley, I've identified so much with your content that I finally made an app with a trauma therapist, so I appreciate you for the realness. Hannah, you go, girl. Or people, sorry. We're still caught up on the whole names. It takes a while, so please be patient with us. And it's kind of tough to tell who identifies with what unless it's specified, but then you get into over-explanations. So we just kind of assume on the face value and assume that you'll tell us otherwise if you're not. So, Hannah, Yes, that's a huge step. Huge step. Proud of you. So proud of you for taking that step. And if we played some small part in that, that's what it's all about. But it's all on you. So, yay. Keep at it. It's a long road to hoe. It will take a long time. There will be setbacks. There will be improvements. But as long as you commit yourself to keep moving forward, that's the main thing. Because you get that motion going. Stop for Motion. Hello. Haven't seen you. Welcome to the stream. And also the Galactic System. We'll be going to therapy as soon as transportation isn't an issue anymore. Okay, good to know, Credence. Definitely. And we do advise therapy out there for you guys who may not have it. It's scary. We get it. And we found out firsthand that we had a lot of very preconceived notions about what the mental health industry was like, what the mental health field is like. And as it turns out, you are pretty much, you, as in you the person, are pretty much in control of how your treatment is going to go. Unless you're going in there with, like slices on your wrist or something where you're dangerous to, harmful to yourself or for others, you're not going to end up locked in a padded room, guys. That's the media. Okay, that's like with DID, they are skewing things way out of proportion. We were terrified. We fully expected to be committed. And much to our surprise, it was much more pleasant and much more empathic than we expected. Now, keep in mind, we know people have had very negative experiences, and we're sorry for that. On that, though, we will say, don't be afraid to shop for therapists the same way that you would shop for a car. You want one that you feel comfortable with, and it's going to get you where you're going with a minimum of fuss and muss. So don't be afraid to ask for another therapist. If you don't feel a connection, if you're just not comfortable, or you're just in a different place, ask. That's all there is to it, really. So yeah, get out there and get therapy. It's not as scary as you think. It's really not. So, yeah. Okay, so got some folks replying to each other. Yes, feel free to converse. Wooden building blocks were the best, especially when you build a tower and then knock it down. Yeah, exactly. And we would always have to use every last block, including the case. It was kind of like a game or a challenge or something. So yeah, Sailor System wants to know a covert system. There are two different types of systems. You have covert, which are hidden systems. In other words, your female alters don't dress up and go out in public if you're a male body system or things like that. Basically, you stay hidden for your own safety. Your friends don't know. Your family doesn't know. You've come out to a very few people. An overt system is one that is just the opposite. They're out there. Hey, world, this is us. Here we are. Take it or leave it. And we got a lot of respect for systems who can do that. Unfortunately, that's not an option for us, both due to the nature of our system and the area that we live in is not exactly friendly to that type of public thing, which is sad. But it's just a fact that if Mimi were to go out to the store done up, we would more than likely be assaulted on many different levels. So safety first, always safety first. So that's a basic explanation of covert and overt systems. So hope that answers your question, Sailor System. I know there's a lot of other channels who have done that. I know Entropy System did a video on that we watched that was pretty good, so feel free to check that out. Little Thread 88, you're a singlet but love coloring for self-care. Great, yeah, absolutely. Coloring is great. And Little Threat 88, thank you for taking the time, for being a singlet, for being a neurotypical, and taking the time to find out about DID and the dissociative conditions, the trauma conditions. That's kudos to you, because then you can go on to support those systems if you choose, or people, or just even to find out more about it is helping to raise the awareness and drop the stigma down. So kudos to you. And for any other singlet or singlet, or we prefer neurotypical NT, just because singlet catches on our mouth or something. We kept wanting to say like Piglet and Winnie the Pooh or something. It's a mental thing. So yeah, kudos for you for getting out there, and anybody else. So, let's see. Still talking about, okay, okay, Sailor System says you would, but you live in a rural area, no specialized trauma therapists in your area, and especially not DID therapists. Yeah, we got lucky with ours and clung to her tooth and nail because she is both a trauma specialist and a specialist in DID and the social and the dissociative conditions. Sailor System, on our last live stream last month, somebody linked a website, it should be in the chat log, of where you type in like your area, your zip code, or your city or whatnot worldwide, and it will bring up a list of therapists and DID specialists in your area. So see if you can dig that up and check it out. If we run across it, we'll do a post on our community tab. But we do remember that, so you might want to check that out. Starts playing Pink's Long Way to Happy in the background. Do we like to sing? You like our voice? Yes, we sing. We do like to sing. Whether or not you will ever actually hear us sing is another matter entirely. So we'll stick a pin in that. Maybe if enough of you want to hear something like that at some point, we'll open up our pipes. But don't bet on that happening anytime. But yes, we do sing. We've had a lot of people comment on our voice over the course of time. We have actually taken professional vocal training and both musical and voiceover training, voice acting training. We always kind of had a natural knack for it. Wonder why. Turns out most of the time it was Percival doing that, actually. And here's the weird thing, okay? Nigel has an accent, Percival has an accent, Rosemarie has an accent. I can't do their accents. You would figure that as the host, as the body, the vocal cords and everything would still be the same, and I would be able to duplicate their accents, but I can't. Every time that we try, it sounds ridiculous. So, DID Weird Things, number 3,751. So yeah, we've actually got vocal training on both levels, so that's why our voice might be a little more resonant and full, because all those vocal techniques have been drilled in. So I thought you said over assistant for hidden. That was okay. No, yeah, we like coloring, but then we realized one of the optical illusions coloring book was actually cueing an alter and was losing when it was around. Yeah, we've always been a little on those things as well. Just certain patterns or things, like some of those, like black, white, hypnotized type things, have really just certain color combinations and pattern combinations have really just, I don't know, they make us feel queasy or something, or unsettled. So I think we know what you're talking about there. Just a Mom, welcome. Better late than not at all. Actually, no, we're only about an hour into it, so you're good. Good to see you, though. Hannah wants to know, do I have any experience or opinion on virtual therapy? Ryan Fry says Fire, sorry. Says that they like virtual therapy. We have done it because of COVID. We've been forced to do it a couple of times with our therapist because she works in a high-risk environment, dealing with inmates and whatnot, and there's been a lot of COVID outbreaks there because, government not believing in science and things like that. So we've had to do several of our sessions virtually. And we're going to give you just our opinion. It doesn't work so well for us. We were lucky. She was actually willing to come and do therapy with us in our home after she saw the first 2 times what happens when we go out in public. She got to see that firsthand. So she has been willing to come to us. So we prefer the more personal contact. There's something about being physically in the room with your therapist, because there's so much body cues and body language. And plus, we do trauma work. That's essentially the focus. We are working on the trauma that our littles are remembering and coming out, and it's rough, and you can't really do trauma work virtually. If you go off the deep end, and there was, the last session that we had was pretty brutal, and we actually, at the end of it, got caught in the pre-verbal stage, where we were on our hands and knees on the rug, flipping this pen cap around and giggling at it like a 1-year-old, and she was concerned because apparently you can actually get stuck for a while and or possibly permanently if you go too far back into the regression, because what happens is when you're experiencing the flashbacks, your brain is resetting itself to that point in time. So it's essentially re-traumatizing your system, and this is why after therapy you may be wasted out, because you're essentially reigniting the event, as it were, in order to work through it. Particularly if your therapist happens to use EMDR, which is eye movement or rapid eye movement desensitization. It is, our therapist does not use it with us because of the way that it works, and she does not recommend it for DID systems, because the way that it works is you consciously recollect the trauma. Literally, you're forcing yourself into a flashback where they're standing over you with their finger going, okay, look side to side, as you're remembering being assaulted. And our therapist was like, okay, this might work well for like PTSD or curing cravings or eating disorders, things like that, but she's like, we're not going to be doing that with you. So we were grateful for that. So yeah, virtual therapy, for us it's a stopgap measure. For others, they might enjoy that sense of separation. It might provide a sense of safety, or just kind of staying in and of yourself, because it's terrifying to get out there, and it's terrifying to begin with. So it's one of these where it's going to work differently for every person and every system. For us, we much more prefer the in-person and personal approach. But for other systems who maybe aren't so traumagenic or aren't so trauma-locked and as severe as ours, it might work better for you. So your mileage will vary. That's our thoughts on it anyway, and what little our therapist has told us. So let's check up here. Bugbean says, even the very bad pain because of chronic illness started reducing, which didn't change even with surgeries in the last 15 years. Didn't expect art therapy and drawing about trauma to be this powerful. Yeah, it is, and because you're tapping directly into the subconscious there, and it just, the way our therapist explained it was, it just basically allows your arm to form that connection, and just don't try to shape what you're drawing, just let it evolve in and of itself. We've had some really powerful artwork doing exactly that. Some really disturbing stuff too, but yeah. So, talking amongst yourself. Sailor says you don't personally like virtual therapy because you still live with your parents, and it's majorly stressful to unpack trauma in that environment, so you definitely can't safely do EMDR yet. Mood. We don't have that, but we know exactly where you're coming from, Sailor System. So hang in there, okay? Explore your options and tell your therapist. Okay, let's see. Body language. Okay. Okay, you guys are talking amongst yourselves. That's great. Let me catch up. Yeah, opioids are bad. Little threat. In your first year ever of therapy, in-person eye contact makes you awkward, so you've been liking the phone therapy more. Yeah, and that's a very common thing with systems and trauma survivors, is we find it very difficult, and I'm going to take these off just to demonstrate this. We find it very difficult to look people in the eye. It's very intimidating and even threatening for us. So you'll notice a lot of systems, particularly when we talk or think, they'll look off to the right, or you'll literally turn your head to the right, and you'll be, talking in this direction, staring at nothing. We talked about this with our therapist once, and I'm going to try to remember what it was that she said. Basically, it has to do with the way that the trauma impacts the right and the left hemispheres of the brain, and basically cuts them off. So when the thought and the rational process makes you look to the right, basically, because it's affecting that area of the brain. But like if you find that yourself doing that, like looking up or that's a normal thing. But particularly with trauma victims, for whatever reason, looking to the right. And this, at least with us, seems to tie into the terrible headaches, the TITH headaches, which is what systems get, particularly when you're switching, because the blood pressure in your brain changes rapidly. They're called TITH, Transitional Interpersonality Thunderclap Headaches. And we're going to write that down here for you. Yes, they actually do have a name. Transitional Interpersonality Thunderclap. Forgive our spelling here because our keyboard sucks. Alright, so there you go for those. Now I'll put the glasses back on. So just something to keep. I can't remember exactly what it was that she said. We'll have to ask her about the details on that and get that for you. Sorry for kicking the desk there. Okay, so Ryan, much to our surprise, we ran across that and we were like, oh my God, there's a word for these things. Because, man, if you've had one, you would gladly pay someone to put you out of your misery. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Always look to the right when I'm stressed and triggered. Yeah. Okay. Also, okay. Sailor System says, also did system shutdowns improve when you guys improved system communication? I have had them like once a year. What is a system shutdown? We're not familiar with that. So we'll come back to that question. Drop what you mean by that. And we think we know where you're going, but we tend to ramble when we answer, so we want to make sure that we're on the same page. So let us know what that is. Okay, yeah, Allison is asking, do you mean like total quiet in the headspace? Oh, never experienced that. That would be nice. Okay, Bugbean. We're going to move on to Bugbean here while we wait on Sailor System. Bugbean wants to know, does someone experience not being able to break eye contact when you feel threatened by a person, like wanting to see and sense everything they do? Very uncomfortable, but we experience this sometimes. Yes. Yeah, absolutely, Bugbean. And this comes back to the fight or flight response, the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, as some people have talked about. And we go into this in depth in our Learning to Love Again, Sex, Trauma, and DID video. We explain the stress response cycle and why it is basically at the core of everything that we are as systems. So when you make that eye contact, it's tripping very primal, subconscious, hardwired triggers in the brain there of fight, flight, or threat, because your brain is immediately ramping up to, okay, direct eye contact is often interpreted as a challenge, and whoever breaks the eye contact first is subconsciously the loser, as it were, or the less dominant, and these are things that are going on that you're not even aware of. But yeah, body language can be very profound, and eye contact is very much part of that. There is the old saw, the eyes are the window to the soul. So yeah, not unusual there, Bugbean. We've experienced that a lot, and yeah, wanting to see or sense everything they do, yeah. Like we said, DID triggers or DID systems are permanently switched on with the fight or flight response. We never resolve because the trauma has locked us at that level for each event. So, yeah, we're constantly on high alert. So, not wanting to break that eye contact for fear, and just, there's a lot going in there. It's a lot more complex than you might think. So, hopefully that answers your question. Let's get back to Sailor System here, hopefully. Okay, Sailor System says, a system shutdown is when no one fronts and the body collapses. They've had to go to the hospital after that happened, and they had no other explanation. Usually happens when an alter experiences pain they can't handle, so the brain switches to a more dissociated part that can handle it, but you collapse because it's so sudden. I have not. We have not. But that just might be the way that our systems work. However, we have lost time under extreme duress, so I'm not sure, but we've always come back to ourselves, and let's not get into the amount and types of pain that we've experienced, but we've got a really high threshold for pain, and I don't think we've ever blacked out. I mean, like, physically collapsing, but I know we've lost time, so we're gonna talk about that with our therapist and get back, because I can't really answer that. We haven't had that happen. Okay, Ryan Fry says that they've had similar, or Fire, sorry. I've had similar experiences, little threats, okay, yeah, is talking about the eye thing. So, Quark Systems has talked about it before, and they usually last 15 seconds to 3 minutes, apparently. I wonder if that's what we just call our blank periods, because we'll just be going along, and all of a sudden we'll realize that it's like 5 minutes later, but it's not directly tied to pain. I don't know, we're going to have to look into that. Thank you. That's a fascinating subject there. We're going to have to get some more info on that from our therapist and see what we can dig up. I'm going to make a note on that. System shutdowns. I know when we get sick, it's like nobody wants to be up front. And it's like we all rotate in through. So, I don't know, maybe that's similar. Okay, so let's see. You literally collapse on the floor. Wow. Hope you got, like, pillows and stuff around. I'd hate for you to, conk your head against the cabinet or something. God, that must be terrifying. Yeah, but again, systems are unique. So, level of symptoms, severity of symptoms, they're gonna be different. But wow, we'd never heard about that one, Sailor System. So thanks for bringing that up. Are we dead? Did we lose the stream? Are you guys still here? Hello? Check my Instagram here. Maybe the stream cut out. Finally finished sewing. Okay, no, we're still going good. Okay, it's weird because oh, there we go. It's like the stream totally dropped out for just a second and went to 0. So we were just checking YouTube. Okay, so let's see here. Good, Raven. Yeah, Raven's here. Hey, Raven! You snuck in and we didn't see you. Just a mom here. Katrina, hello, welcome. Anybody that we didn't already say hello to, welcome. Okay, looks like Alisane is saying dissociative seizures are a thing too. I know that our therapist has been very concerned about bringing us back to ourselves and recentering due to the risk of seizures, and she's even warned us not to push it after therapy, literally to go to bed and stay there for the rest of the day and do nothing, because we could accidentally throw a clot, as in have an embolism if we stress ourselves too high because of the blood pressure changes. So yeah, if you're a system, take good care of your blood pressure. We don't, and we're trying to. We'd rather not have that happen. I couldn't find any oddities in my lab work or anything afterwards. Yeah, and that's one of the frustrating things about DID is that our symptoms are so comorbid and they're all over the place. And they keep looking for one specific symptom and one specific cause when you have to look at the whole picture, guys. But Western medicine is finally beginning to catch up a little tiny bit. So, let's see here. Who did dissociative research? Yeah, see? We got folks researching. Yes, absolutely. This is why we love you guys and the channel and started this and love these live streams, because everybody's got a weird little tidbit that nobody else has experienced or might know about, and this way it increases the knowledge for all of us. So, yeah, please share these things. Ask these questions. And most of our longtime viewers, long time, like 6 months we've been here, know to ask whatever question you want. We are not shy about answering questions or personal questions. If we feel that it's too personal, we will let you know. Okay, so ask whatever you want. Okay, so let's see here. Onwards, 2 more questions. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Katrina's been a wallflower today. That's okay. You could be a wallflower. Wallflowers are us. We were a professional wallflower in school. Okay, let's see. Bugbean, do you guys experience TITH also only with certain alters and not with all? No. Okay, it's less about the alters themselves than it is about how we switch. And we are learning to co-con and co-switch smoothly, or at least better. Data and I, there really is no difference. You guys might have seen us just accidentally switch back and forth. We are so blended that it's very tough to tell when we switch. So there is no real pressure changes there. Now, say when we switch to Rosemarie, she's fairly smooth. The ones that are the roughest are the littles, particularly the trauma holders, because they're kids. They don't think about it. It's just, okay, I'm done. And they're gone. Or, I want to play now. And all of a sudden you have a 4-year-old literally taking control of the front because he wants to color. Littles can be very powerful, much more than you'd think. But yeah, when they hard switch, it's like opening and closing the door. It hurts because the blood pressure changes like that. When we smooth switch or hand off, whatever you want to call it, like when Percival is done recording, he'll get undressed and put our regular clothes back on because he has to record the audio stuff in his Percival clothes, despite the fact that you'll never actually see him because it's just a voice recording. That's Percival, so therefore he must wear his outfit. And we've gotten better about that, and when he's done, he'll get dressed and then he'll fade and back, and we'll come back to the... it's hard to describe what switching feels like. So the harder the switch, the worse it is. So it's not localized just to one particular alt. It's kind of overall, it's more just how we switch rather than the actual alt itself. Hope that makes sense. Bugbean there. Okay, Sailor System. Mentioned to your psychiatrist usually happens for the weirdest reasons, like sneezing, after going back to too much. Stop Emotion. Welcome. I have a degree in psychology from Uruguay. Wow. Unfortunately, we don't learn about DID in college. Did an EMDR course, but only for PTSD. Although I want to learn EMDR for complex PTSD, which is the only therapy that I was taught DID is treated. Maybe I need to do better research. Anyways, I'm learning so much with your experiences, so thank you. Stop Emotion. You're keeping your options open, and thank you for studying the dissociative conditions. A lot of the treatment is still in flux because a lot of people in a lot of doctors in the Western world just refuse to believe that it's actually even a thing. They're still caught up in the 1980s way of thinking, and there has been a lot more research done. You want to check out a book called The Body Keeps the Score by a gentleman called van der Kolk. And we'll go ahead and write that in here. It is essentially the handbook for trauma and dissociative trauma. Highly recommend it. I think we recommend it basically every live stream. It is more on the technical side, but it is very easy to read. So look into that, and that will clue you in. I think it's Bessel van der Kolk. Just Googling it should bring it up. Bessel. Anyway, it's van der Kolk. We'll just put that. Van der Kolk. Hate this keyboard. Okay, so. Yeah, keep plugging at it. Like I said, our therapist was not in favor of EMDR for DID systems, but that doesn't rule out PTSD, CPTSD, or, BPD, or those. So don't quote us. Look into the journal. So hopefully that'll give you somewhere to start anyway. Also check out the CTD clinic here on YouTube. One of you guys just please post a link or their name in there. Our keyboard is acting up. Dr. Mike Lloyd, he gives some good information too. Not terribly specific, but it's one of the very few reliable sources of information out there. So let's see here. Let me scroll back up, make sure that I'm not missing anything here. We're actually doing really good keeping up with the chats this time, so thank you guys for that. Okay, let's see here. Just a Mom wants to know, how should one try and communicate with a nonverbal alter when they are fronting? You know that there's an alter named Gurr, and he think he's a male by how he holds self is starting to front when around me. I have no clue how to connect with him. That's a complex question, and it's one that we're actually undergoing ourselves. We don't have it. Well, yeah, we do, because he has co-conned with us, but he doesn't know it. We have a completely trauma-locked alter. His name is John, and he contains, if not the worst of, then a good portion of some of the more severe trauma that we've endured. We can't reach him. He's not even aware of us. He exists inside of an impenetrable bubble that he's pulled in around himself. That's what he is. We can't reach him. He has slipped towards the front, we think accidentally, and even while we can feel him there and we've been co-con, he is not aware of us at all. So I'm not sure where to help you with that. I would guess just try to be patient and understanding. Let them know, hey, we're here. You're not alone. We're here for you. If you want to say something or bring something to our attention, just let us know. Patience, and just do a lot of listening. Alters, particularly the stronger ones, the more the persecutors, the ones that act out more, really just want to be heard. They want to be listened to. And if you work with them and try to give them that voice, and even in small ways, they calm down a bit and may become easier to communicate with. So whether or not Gurr is that or not, I'm not sure. Play it by ear. That's a tough one, Just a Mom. Be patient and stay the course. That's really all we can tell you on that. But let us know how that works out, like in the next live stream, because curious, for sure. Avery Bell, hello. Welcome. Doing good. We're heading into, got about a half hour left or so in the live stream. Been covering just a wide range of stuff. Okay, let's see. That one lesbian, great name. Welcome. Didn't see you. Stop emotion. Is complex PTSD recognized officially now, or do they just discuss it in school, etc.? Sorry, I'm curious. That's a good question. I want to see what Stop Emotion's answer is on that. Thank you for the recommendation. Okay, they haven't. Okay, answered. Okay, it's in the new ICD-11 that's coming up. Okay, excellent. Okay, I'm assuming the ICD-11 is the UK equivalent of the DSM-5 that we have here in the States. So, good, because you guys in the UK have basically been driving what research there is. Also, in Australia, it seems like Australia and the UK are more or less kind of on the forefront, whereas here in the United States, we're still kind of suffering from the medieval Inquisition syndrome. So yeah, I'm glad to see that it's finally getting some recommendation, because, come on guys, the theory of structural dissociation is pretty damn cut and dried. It's straightforward, it's backed by solid research, and it's all there, so we're glad that people are finally deciding to go, oh gee, maybe DID is real after all. Maybe this is what happens when you abuse a child. Yeah. Duh. Okay, so, everybody saying hello. Good. Happy Halloween. Yes, happy Halloween. Happy Samhain to everyone. Or Samhain, however you pronounce it. We used to know, we don't know now. Yes, Dr. Mike Lloyd, yes. That one, Lesbian, The Body Keeps the Score, is an excellent book. Yes. If you want to know about PTSD and how your brain works and why the trauma is doing things to your brain and why you're reacting the way that you will, that is a great place to start. Seriously. Read it. I plug it so much we ought to get like some like a shout out from Vander Kolk, but anyway. Sorry, we're a little stuffily today. Okay, so let's see here. Very big and important changes in the trauma segment, also on DID and partial DID, or I assume that would be OSDD, what we call that. And there is a thin dividing line between that. Just a moment, what Chris said, just be patient and communicate with them as you would anybody else. Ask them yes, no questions. Yeah, we left that out. Thank you, Avery Bell. Yes, no questions. Keep in mind, and this is something that has bitten us in the butt so many times, when you are a DID system, when you have DID, this is the tertiary, the third level of of structural dissociation. For those of you unfamiliar with the theory, we're going to do a very brief recap right now. At the first level, you have PTSD, that is a primary structural dissociation. Post-traumatic stress disorder. One traumatic incident is enough to cause this, and you have one ANP, or apparently normal part, what most neurotypicals would think of as themselves, and one EP, the emotional part, which is the traumatic incident, like, say, a car wreck, okay? That's PTSD. Then you go down a level in severity where we have complex CPTSD, which instead of just one traumatic event, there are numerous traumatic events. So for everything on this level, which includes CPTSD, BPD, bipolar disorder, and OSDD, or otherwise specified dissociative disorder, and then there's the 1 and the 1As. Those are all secondary structural dissociations, which means you have one ANP, or apparently normal part, and multiple EPs. And then you have DID at the very bottom, which is a tertiary structural dissociation. So it has everything that comes before it. So DID systems have comorbid, bipolar, CPTSD, PTSD. We've got the works and everything that goes along with it. So that's your basic structural theory of dissociation. Communication. Yes, no questions. That's where we're going with this. Bipolar. We see things in absolutes. Either things are or they aren't. Either it's the best thing ever or it's the worst case scenario. And we always tend to lead towards the worst case scenario. We miss subtleties. They don't even occur to us. Very black and white. It's how the disorder is. There's not a lot of middle ground because we just simply aren't capable of perceiving it. We don't pick up on a lot of the unspoken cues and the things that neurotypicals do. because our brains don't work that way. They just don't work that way. It's been rewired by the trauma. So yeah, it can be frustrating, very frustrating, because and it can make your relationships with neurotypicals, family members, friends, very, very challenging, because you miss out on a lot of the subcontext. You automatically leap to the worst case scenario. You project all your worst fears, and it's rough. And you don't even realize that you're doing it a lot of the time until you catch yourself. So yeah, black and white, on and off, day and night. So yeah, yes, no questions are important. Sorry for the rant and the educational thing. Sawain, yes, thank you. And I can put my glasses back on now because it might actually be able to see. Okay, listener, yes, we always listen to Roses. Donegal pronunciation. Roses is a sort of a linguist, so. Okay, let's see here. But I'm happy to hear that. Well, it might be similar. Okay, I thought it was borderline instead of bipolar. Okay, is it? I think the terms are synonymous, but I'm not sure. You guys would probably know better. We always heard it termed as bipolar, but maybe we're confusing two separate conditions. We'll totally own it if we did. So you guys probably knew better. Raven is saying borderline personality. So we'll just go with that. Haven't looked at the DISM in a while, at least not since we were diagnosed, so. Okay, so we've got about yeah, they blend, no kidding. Everything blends. It's like, just take your life and put it into a blender and hit frappe. You know, it's like, throw a little whipped cream on top. Voila, you know, DID Sunday. So yeah, just keep in mind, and this is why DID is so often misdiagnosed at first, and why we were so lucky to get our diagnosis right off the bat within like a year of being in treatment. Yeah, Raven is rolling here. So yeah, keep in mind we got the comorbids, all the comorbids, so that might lead to lead to some confusion. For folks who are not yet diagnosed. You're going, okay, I have this, but it seems way stronger than normal PTSD, but, you know, and this is why it's important to get that diagnosis, to get in there, because otherwise you just don't know. You're not sure exactly which you are or could be, because the levels are so tightly intertwined. So yeah, important to get those professionals with the outside perspective to help, like we say in Trauma Doesn't Lie. Bipolar is manic depression. Excuse me. Okay, so yeah, all right. So then, BPD is borderline personality disorder. Bipolar is manic. Okay, BPD, borderline personality disorder. Borderline personality. Sorry, we use mnemonics to imprint onto our brain. So, thank you for pointing that out. But perhaps bipolar in extreme. Okay, Little Threat wants to know, any fun Halloween plans for you guys, your kids? To be honest, no. We've been, and it's just kind of been a whirlwind here lately. Just a lot of, just the perfect storm of everything. We got the election coming up, and stress levels are insanely high. There's been some, personal real life stuff going on. Just the dynamics of everybody everywhere are just really screwy right now, so we just haven't really had any time to really do it. Just the will really hasn't been there this year. Just too much other stuff, and to be honest, we've been here where we live now for over 20 years, and we haven't had one trick-or-treater ever. It's really sad. Part of this is because we live way back on our property. We've got like almost 2 acres, and we are set back well from the road, so they would literally have to walk up our very long, creepy driveway to get to our porch to begin with. So I think that kind of stops most of them, and it also doesn't help the fact that we live at the dead end part of a dead end. So kind of sad, but some years it's there, some years it's not. This year it's just... not there. So, it's a pity too, because it was always one of our favorite holidays. Okay, so let's see here. We decided to live stream with you guys instead, so trick or treat. You get to listen to us ramble on as your treat. Not sure if that's a treat or not, but there it is. Okay, so don't worry about typos, little threat. Bugbean took 20 years in the mental health system to get diagnosed correctly. Before I was diagnosed with BPD, bipolar, ADHD, autism, and a lot of other stuff. Yeah, we left out the ADHD and the autism. That was actually one of our initial diagnosis things, was that they had said we were high-functioning autistic. And the anxiety and the BPD before we got diagnosed with DID later on. So, real common. Forgot about the autism there. Selene, haven't seen, or Celine, EM, welcome. Haven't seen you pop up before now. So welcome, glad you could make it. Rosa's Rent is dressed as a pretty princess right now. Dressed as an elderly witch. Excellent, excellent. Okay, we thought about dressing up. Percival thought about maybe hosting, but he has to be in his outfit and everything. It was just kind of more of a matter of time crunch today. Maybe next year we'll be able to do something Halloween-y for you guys. Throw out some suggestions there and we'll put them on our list of things. Yes, we literally do keep a list of things and episode ideas and things that you guys bring up for future episodes and whatnot. Okay, that one lesbian says they've been diagnosed with BPD and PTSD, but their therapist brought up DID, which is what made us start looking more into channel is favorite so far. I think BPT fits more, though. Hope that was okay to share. Share whatever you want. It's an open forum, open community. You share what you're comfortable with sharing. We're not... Here's the deal, okay? We cover heavy stuff. You guys know this. We talk frankly about it. You guys know this. Pretty much fair to say that we expect that you guys are going to know if something's going to be triggered or not. We're not going to pander. We're not going to put asterisks in everything, and remove the A and the word trauma or things like that. Okay, we get being sensitive to people, but there's a point when that kind of starts to get into the way, and we are very plain speaking. We are very truthful, we are very blunt, we are not real frou-frou frilly when we want to get a point across. We're blunt. It's how we are. We may trigger you, sorry about that, but we're not constantly going to be looking over our shoulders, wondering whether or not you guys are responsible adults and systems. We expect you to kind of screen our material for yourselves, but we do try to be very considerate with the trigger warnings and stuff. So that said, just as we're over 1K now, there are a couple of things that we really didn't have to address before, but now we kind of have to, so that's our policy on that. Share whatever you want to your comfort level. If you're not comfortable with something, then change the channel or tune out or something until the person is done. Our content will have trigger warnings. Share what you want. You have a right to your opinion. You have a right to state it clearly and politely. Don't use too much profanity. Don't make personal attacks, and don't stir the pot, and we will never delete your comments. We believe in free speech. That said, we do curate, but if you have a critical opinion of us or a disagreeing opinion or something and you're not being a dick about it, put it up there. We may even pin it. We're not afraid. So, there we go on that. So let's see here. Where were we before we started rambling? Our channel is our favorite so far, or their favorite so far. Thank you. We're just doing our thing. Glad it's resonating. Excuse me for just a sec. Ugh. Terrible. And I don't think that worked to mute. So sorry about that. Too many buttons. Okay, they canceled theirs in the UK. Halloween. That sucks. But still, safety. It's just unbelievable over here. Okay, Halloween is normally favorite holiday too. Hannah says normally go out, but it's just not. Yeah, same here. It's just not there this year. Little threat. Love people's costumes. Yes, not feeling much this year, but I have a virtual Halloween with my autistic and neurodiverse friends. Awesome. That's a great idea. Yeah, do some Zoom Halloween, folks. Didn't think about that. Let's see. Stu decorated the porch to have some holiday spirit. Yep. Did Halloween party. Honesty is the best policy. I get in trouble for being blunt as well, even though I try to be considerate. This live has definitely been a treat. Blunt is our thing. And honesty. Okay, look, here's our thing on honesty. We don't lie. We never have, really. Except like when we were little bitty kids. Like really smalls, and that was more than likely just to survive. Here's the thing about lying. Or telling half-truths, you always have to remember what the hell you told what to, or who you told what to, and sooner or later you're going to trip yourself up, and it's just easier to just tell the truth, because it's the truth, and you never have to worry about it changing or being anything other than what it is. Just be genuine. It's not that hard, really, but I don't know. So, yeah, we're glad you're enjoying it. Yeah, welcome to our little family. Yeah, we are kind of building a little cozy community. I like that. I've actually been watching for a while, Celine said. Currently watching with my partner, trying to get them to watch more video with them. Cool, yeah. We're glad that it's speaking to you guys and that the content is resonating. We're going to keep doing it. Hannah says, your Learning to Love Again vid was extremely triggering. Yeah, that's why we put all the trigger warnings in there. Of all of our videos, that one was the most brutal. Not only from the perspective of content for you guys, but for us producing it. It took us over a week in stops and starts to do that video. It was rough. So, yeah. But there's, yeah, okay, so you're saying took days to watch, but the good so outweighed the bad, because when you think you're not alone, you're not. No, and that's probably that and Boys Cry 2, where we deal with male childhood sexual abuse. Those are probably the two hardcore videos that we're the most proud of, and because these are the things we live with, but nobody wants to talk about sex, or trauma, or how it impacts your sex life, or why you may be a sudden horn dog one moment and then you're a virginal nun the next, why your littles may switch out during sex. One of our viewers brought up a rather icky but completely logical thing that we overlooked, which was littles that enjoy sex because they've been cooperative alters due to the trauma bonding in the past, which we covered in that episode. So there's just a whole host of things that people are hurting. People are dealing with, and they feel alone, and there's these things, and there's no books and no guides and really nothing out there for you to go, oh my God, what the hell's going on? So we found that PDF, and it spoke to us, and it covered a lot of the same things that we were going to cover anyway. So Data took it and boiled it down, and other than the direct quotes, that was all that. So a lot of very powerful information in there, a lot of very useful information, a lot of systems that went, gee, you just solved a lot of our mysteries here as to why we do certain things. And we have to watch it ourselves to remind ourselves of things that we should be doing or why we're doing certain things. So yeah, work in progress. We're glad though that it has proven to be helpful to you guys out there. And it's rough. We warned you. So when we put a trigger warning on something, take it seriously. But we're glad that it helped. It worked. We didn't hear anything for that moment. Okay. Truth doesn't change and just is. Yes. Just a mom. That's it. Yes. That's it right there. If there's any, yeah, okay, yes, absolutely. We've got chat handles going out for support. We love that. Boys Cry 2 made you cry, Raven. Yeah. That was important to us to make. And it was hard. That was very hard, because not only dealing with the subject matter, but our experiences with it. And let's face it, nobody wants to think about that stuff. We don't want to believe that that actually happens. And not that we're minimizing the impact of abuse or childhood sexual assault on girls in any way, shape, or form, because it is more statistically more predominant. But the statistics for male childhood sexual abuse are equally as staggering, and it goes overlooked because of that dichotomy, because of the don't show weakness, be strong, we don't talk about these things. You were raped, so you're a little insert nasty, derogatory term here. And it's still very much like that. Just turn on the TV. Look at Schwarzenegger, some of these, the sports stars, the basketball stars, they're all muscles and big, alpha male, rah, rah, it's like, and anybody who isn't is, oh, you're just a weak little soy boy, or whatever the hell the terms are, the nasty things that they say. But boys was very important for us to make, because we'd never seen that information presented anywhere else, and particularly not from a male perspective. So we appreciate that it resonated with you guys. And if there are any systems out there, any male systems, or just any systems at all, because we do try to speak to trauma as well, that you feel would benefit from any of these, please feel free to forward them, share them, tweet them, whatever. We don't care, and we're not out it for the subscribes or the views. If you know somebody out there who will be helped by the info, please share it. And we know that we're not for everybody. Okay, we're kind of dry and very basic, and this is this and this is that. Not a lot of pretty graphics or anything, but if there's anyone that any of our programming might help, from a little to a trauma holder or an ANP, please share it out there. All right, so we're done ranting again, so we will put our glasses back on here. Littles watched the movie Elf last night and had a blast. Excellent. Yeah, let them out. Let those littles out. They need time. We tend to stick them in the dark places and just forget about them, or not even know that they're there. And they are our core. I mean, there's the core, obviously, but think about it. The EPs are the most important parts of a DID system, just as much as an ANP, because they hold what we are. The ANPs, more or less, are the reactions that we make to the outside world. They've got all the meat and potatoes, but the EPs hold all the flavor, if you want to use a food analogy. So yeah, show them attention, for sure. Let's see here. We are getting trick-or-treaters. We're using a big 10-foot PVC pipe to give candies. It's fun. I saw a picture of that on the news, where they had a big tube and they were giving it to. So yeah, I had never seen it before. That's really cool that you're doing that, Starry Girl. Yeah, that's awesome. Hugs back, Raven. It's all right. But yeah, we know why it was rough for you. And yeah, a lot of things discussed in there that people don't even know about, like the male reactions, for example. It just never bothers, most people don't bother to think about, okay, what happens when a male child is raped, and what happens when that prostate is stimulated, and, oh gee, the erection is actually a hard-coded body response, and this might prove to be shameful and be used against you by your abusers. It just doesn't occur, so we wanted to bring that to attention. So, yeah, enough about that. Moving on. Look, a unicorn. So, yeah. Boys are not supposed to hold it in, but they are made to. Yeah, unfortunately. ANPs are the actors for the world, from what you can tell here. Yeah, that's exactly what they are. Apparently normal parts. They're the ones that don't hold the trauma because they have shut it out. They're what's left over after the brain has sectioned the EPs away. There's your altar there. But the ANPs are the altars that form because we have to get up. We have to go to the store. We have to go to work. We have to go to the DMV. We have to go to the gas station. Emotional parts, the EPs, the trauma holders, can't do that stuff. So that's what the ANPs are for. So yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's what they're there for. Please keep ranting. Your kind words and spreading self-acceptance really helps. Okay, we'll rant away. At least for another 10 minutes, because we are coming up on the 2-hour mark. Just to catch up with you guys. So go ahead and hit us up with any questions or anything that you want us to talk about, or to touch base there in the comments section. To catch up for you folks who weren't here for the beginning part of the stream, we are currently rounding in. We've got the last 3 chapters of The Forgotten Door already recorded. The vocal track, Percival did a marathon session of voice acting and reading yesterday, so we've actually got that all down on tape. So chapter 10 is about standard size, 11 and 12 are very short, so we're definitely going to run 11 and 12 together. Might just do it all in one shot, but we're not sure. It's going to depend upon how big chapter 10 comes out. So we've got that, so we'll be done with The Forgotten Door within the next week or 2. We're going to cut ourselves a little bit of slack room there, just because it takes a while to do those sound effects and stuff and put it together. We could just slap it out there for you, but we like bringing the story to life, and you guys have really tuned into that. So when we are done with The Forgotten Door, Percival is itching to get back to the safe space stories for the littles, and we have created a new corner. Well, not a new corner, but we have Bo Peep and her sheep and a noble knight protecting them on the wall now. If you haven't seen it, the pictures of it so far, go over to our Instagram account. It's up on the wall there. Each one of those sheep on the wall contains the name of one of the littles who has watched our program and who has felt safe enough or brave enough to share, or their older brothers and sisters in the system have been willing to share their names. And we've written them all down as sheep. So our Bo Peep has a metaphorical flock of littles. Every one of those sheep is a little out there who has enjoyed watching the stories. So we're going to keep adding sheep, so if any of your littles would like to see their names on the wall, or would like to have their names up there to help them feel more connected to the safe space and the safe space stories, please feel free to jot down on the right hand side any of your littles' names. Guys, we already got yours and wrote them down, so you don't need to duplicate, but if you think that'd be a good idea, go ahead and feel free to do that, because Percival is raring to get back into the stories. And we'll put up a poll for our next book that he's going to want to read and let you guys vote on it, like we did with the Pokey Little Puppy and whatnot. So that's what we've got coming up. I don't think we've got another heavy episode scheduled right now. We pretty much knocked out all the ones that we wanted to do for now, but no guarantees on that. We're going to be doing a couple of smaller things, like the eyesight test among the various altars. We've got almost all of the results on that now, so we'll be doing kind of a mini episode on that and just the weird things. So if you have any ideas for stuff that you want to see covered, or that you think that we haven't went in depth enough with, go ahead and hit us up in the comment section. We'll be happy to see if we can work that in. So that's where we're going on the channel for the upcoming week or two, and of course our monthly live stream the last Saturday of every month. And we're just going to go and do it now at this time, since we're catching our UK viewers as well. So that will be 12 noon Pacific Daylight Time, and we'll go ahead and put up announcements on the community tab and whatnot. And thank you for getting us to 1K and unlocking our community tab. Thank you again. So with all that said, we're going to go back and catch the last few questions here. If you have any, feel free to pop them up. Otherwise, we're going to answer these last few and then go ahead and wrap it up. So let's get on over to that. Okay, let's see here. You guys did have some. I'm going to have to scroll up real quick. Okay, not too far though. Okay, that one lesbian wants to know, feel free not to answer, but I was wondering if you've struggled with substance abuse. That's their current biggest struggle right now. I feel like it goes hand in hand with trauma. Yes, we have, but only certain ones. Because of the nature of our trauma and the circumstances surrounding it, we were exposed to a lot of alcohol and alcoholism very early on in our life. heavy smoking. We were exposed to various hard drugs. It was very much part of the scene that our abusers were in. We were professionally prostituted in the child sex trafficking trade, also in pornographic film industry of that time. It was not the healthiest environment for a child. All of those substances were there and out for open display. There are indications that we were drugged as children for various reasons, which we won't go into here, but your brain can probably reason out. So, fortunately, we have managed to avoid or have a natural aversion to a lot of the very common substance abuse things. That said, we have had our issues over the course of time. We experimented with various things right around in our teenage years, which is when everything was blowing up. We've been a smoker of marijuana since 15. We're medical now. Surprise, surprise. We have our medical marijuana because if we didn't, we wouldn't be able to walk around because we have degenerative disc disease due to the trauma. Lots of back and spine issues there right around the lower lumbar. And if it wasn't for the medical marijuana, we would be in a wheelchair doped up on opioids, which is what the doctors wanted to do and had us doing. We were a zombie, and we decided that we didn't want to live like that. And we went and we got our card, and we've been legal beagles for, I think, 5 years now. And won't look back. But hey, that's all lost its big stigma anyway, and it never really had any. It's a wonderful medicine, and the Chinese knew this thousands of years ago, and it's time for Western society to pull its head out of its ass and get on board with that. So we're really glad to see that that is happening. We feel that legalization has basically crested the wave, and that it's just basically a matter of time now. So have we had substance abuse issues? Yes, we have used the marijuana as an emotional crutch in the past. That was our one thing, because we don't drink, we don't do hard drugs, we don't smoke cigarettes because we can't. Instant trigger, so that was the one thing that we had, and we had used it in the past as an emotional crutch. We still do a little bit of that now. We'll mea culpa on it, but mostly it's for medicinal purposes, and that's why we use it. So that was probably far more honest of an answer than you were expecting, but there you go. Like I said, truthful. So, next question. Surprise! Okay, so let's see. Yes, Allison was saying that she has struggled with substance abuse and alcoholism. She is currently 5 days completely sober. So everybody, give her a shout out there. Allison, we are so very, very proud of you. Very proud of you. You got this. You've got this, and we're here to support you. So you remember that. Allison is one of our 2 close friends that we have talked about before. So yeah, very proud of her and anybody else. Okay, do I have any videos where you talk about EMP influence on amps? Oh, Ian, okay, gotcha. Emotional part influences on normal, We briefly touch on it in Who in the Hell Are You People, Alters and All About Them, but we have not went into any depth on that. So, Selena EM, you have just given us content ideas. So, video on EP influence of ANP parts. Thank you. We will have a video on that. So thank you for that. Definitely. We appreciate that suggestion. Starry Girl wants to know one question. What do you do when a little is too scared to front even though there is no danger? Our little is very scared of basically everything. This is a question for anyone who wants to answer. We'll just answer for us a little on. When our littles first come out, they are hiding under furniture behind potted plants, terrified, absolutely shaking and crying and terrified that they're going to be abused because that's all that they knew. as we have worked on the trauma, particularly with Christopher, he has gotten a lot less gun shy. The fight or flight response has resolved a little bit for him. If there's a loud noise or a sudden movement, he will still startle because it's there. You just can't turn that off. But there has been improvement. So we kind of try to schedule that. Our little time. It's not that we're deliberately keeping them from it. It's just that we try to schedule it to, honestly, to be where we're by ourselves and away from others, because we're still not really comfortable being a little around anyone, really. It's other than our therapist. It's awkward and it's weird because we don't remember it until we come back. And even then, if we remember it, because we'll just blank out a lot of the time. So we just try to create a safe area for them, recreate their comfortable environment where they feel safest at. For example, we've changed all of our light bulbs over to the 6500K, the warm spectrum, because that's what we were used to growing up. We've started listening to some of the music. It depends. We'll try to set the scene for whichever alt is, or little is kind of coming out. And it could be from coloring to watching a Disney movie or whatnot. And sometimes we'll just set it up for everything because we never know what they're going to do. So we've been fortunate with that, in that our littles really haven't forced their way to the front. Christopher has done it a couple times when he feels strongly enough to do that, and it's like, oh my god, the kid is like, his power level is over 9,000. Kid's got a startling amount of energy to be able to literally force himself there. So yeah, okay, let's see what everybody else has to say. Just calm environment and consistency. Little things work big. Offers to follow on chats and stuff. So yes, patience and consistency are key with scared littles. Yeah, Roses, absolutely. Let's see here. Lammy, your primary little. Okay, Melty Rainbow, I am so glad to see you again. You were like one of our original commenters, and then you just kind of vanished. We've been worried about you guys, so we're glad that you commented, and your name is definitely going on there. Lammy, Lammy. So it's good to see you again. We're glad that you're still out there. Okay, so let's see here. Whoa, mini. Okay, here we go. Mini episode sounds great. Yeah, we'll try to be doing those. We honestly start off intending short episodes, but then they just kind of balloon. So yeah, healing, spending time with you and all the lovely chat folks. Thank you, Little Threat 88, for tuning in. We're glad to see you, and welcome to the channel. Hannah, thank you for your honesty. We're honest. Like I said, you want honesty? Here we are. Neurodancer, welcome. Glad to see you. Question, since you have a medical marijuana card, I was wondering if you notice if it helps with communication between alters or grounding. Yes, it does. That's actually one thing that we have talked with other systems about, and almost unanimously has come, yes, it serves to ground and recenter most systems. Oddly enough, or maybe not so oddly enough, we would probably have to look into exactly what parts of the brain are being tripped by the THC, C and A molecules, as well as the CBD, and see if there is a correlative effect. But there are many, many systems who have found that it will level you out. I know after we have a spin out and we sit down to smoke, generally it's almost instantaneously, but within about 5 or 10 minutes, we will... something shifts and you recenter. So yeah, absolutely. Not the only one there. So yeah, I think that it does help. Definitely does help, and there's a lot of other people who do. Obviously, your mileage will vary. But yeah, and we're actually thinking about doing a show on that. So yeah. Let's see here. Okay. Melty Rainbow is saying they have degenerative disc disease too. It sucks hard. Yes. And we just figured it was from our bones. Turns out it was from the repetitive trauma. But yeah, either way, it just sucks. Rose is saying cannabis definitely a communication aid for their system. Raven, wish medical marijuana was here. I'd love to try it. Yeah, hopefully the UK will catch up. Ironic that we're actually kind of ahead of you guys on that. Okay, yes, Alice saying, giving her that feedback, yes. Hope the stream will be posted. You want to watch it from the beginning? Yes, Neurodancer, or Necrodancer, I'm sorry, and I love that viewer name. That is awesome. Can't quite see what your avatar is, but anyway, all of our streams will be posted. We post all of them. It takes about 4 hours for the chat replay to show up, so give it 6 to 8 hours and everything should be up, but the streams are up immediately, so yeah. Yes, happy Halloween, everyone. Thank you, lesbian, that one lesbian, for tuning in. It's good to see you. We've seen you guys around the channel. Lemmy's excited she gets to be part of the flock. She's obsessed with the sheep. Then she will love it. Absolutely. Okay, Starry Girl, have a great day. Be well. Everybody be sure to drink lots of water. Okay, let's see. Arden Murray, would like to congratulate everyone in the chat for the exact place you are. You've come a very long way. Be proud, happy, and All Hallows Eve. Powerful, rejuvenating energy tonight. You use it. Yeah, if you are into Wicca or energy manipulation or anything like that, tonight is like the best time in a long time because it's All Souls Day, or rather will be tomorrow. So those of you who follow the old traditions, be sure tonight, before midnight or at midnight, to leave your offerings out for the little folk and the elves and the gnomes. They prefer milk, bread, basically anything you would eat, and they especially love whiskey or good spirit. So leave them out a little cup, leave a little saucer of milk, and some bread or whatever you want to. Just leave an offering out there for the she and the fae folk and the gnomes and whatnot, because never hurts. We've been doing it for more than 40 years now. So yeah, be sure to do that tonight for All Hallows Eve, and happy Halloween, everyone. But as we were saying, great energies tonight. We've got a full blue moon occurring on Halloween. That's the first time, I think, in 70 some odd years, and it won't happen again until 2039, I want to say. We're not sure on that. But there's a lot of very powerful energies out there right now, even without all of that going on. So use your craft and work your things wisely, and watch out for energy backlash, folks. For the rest of you who may not be that into it, whatever your beliefs or respects, we hope that you do have a happy and a safe Halloween, for sure. Okay, let's see here. Yes, okay, you just outed yourself. Alisane is saying that that her system, actually one of her littles in specific, is the inspiration for the shepherdess on our wall. So Bo Peep is actually a little shepherding a lot of littles, which could not be more perfect if we had tried to, so... Little Threat, no, love long videos. Just meant that video idea about eye test sounded good. Yeah, and actually that's one we've been working on for a couple months now, but we don't force switch each other. So we've been having to catch each alt as they're out, and we literally have the eye test taped to our wall. So I think we only have Nigel left, possibly Rosemary. No, we did Rosemary. Nigel and any of the littles if they want to do it. So, yeah. Thanks for answering. The same Necrodancer, sorry. Same for you. Also wonders for persecuted self-harming or just keeps us... Yeah. Okay, everybody's saying thank you. I love that you guys talk to each other. Thanks for being worried about you, Melty. When I don't hear from people, it's like, say hello once in a while. We worry. We actually do care about each and every one of you. Percival isn't just blowing smoke. We really do mean it. We get it. We know what it feels like. That's why we started the channel. Yes, blue moon. Full blue moon on Halloween. Yep, sure is. So, blue moon, you saw me standing alone. Yeah, and that's all that you get because we're not warmed up. All right, folks, I think that's all about all the questions. We are past the 2-hour mark, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thank each and every one of you for subscribing to the channel, for watching our content, for being willing to watch the things where we show you nasty, icky things that you don't want to think about and make you cry. Thanks, I think. We're just going to keep on growing, keep doing our things. Yes, we are going to get the P.O. box that we promised. We just haven't had a chance to actually go and get it yet. We will post that on the community tab as soon as we do. We always keep our promises. So that's it. We're going to go ahead and sign off now. Thank you very much. Thank you for our moderators, Raven, Rosenrent, and Alisane. Thank you guys for keeping the stream clean. We didn't have any neo-Nazis spouting crap this time, so that's an improvement. So thank you all. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned to the channel, and thanks for being you and for wonderful systems. Always remember, say it with me now, that you are loved, that you are strong, and that you are not alone, because we all have each other. All right? I'm Chris and the rest of the crew signing off. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.